Hello there, everyone. It has been 3 weeks since the Biscuit reveal, and finally we are getting another character trailer for Hunter x Hunter NENxIMPACT. Not only did we get one today, we got two. One of them being for Uvo, as you can see here, and the other one being for Machi, as you can see here. And unlike Biscuit, both of these characters have technically already been revealed prior to their own trailers here. In Biscuit's case, her trailer was the first time they were actually showing her off. That was her confirmation of being in the game. Whereas with these two, they had already been revealed, but even though they were technically revealed before, these two trailers is basically their actual reveal, because the way in which they were revealed before today was just getting beaten up in one of the general trailers. So we knew that they were in the game, but we have not actually seen them do anything other than getting beaten up. So we don't know what their moves look like or anything, which makes this pretty much just as exciting as a new reveal, right? Because we pretty much knew Uvo was going to be in the game. Machi is a bit more of a surprise to me, but I'm still excited to see her moves nonetheless. And I'm going to start with Uvo here just because I'm personally more excited about playing him. Very high likelihood of him being on my team, whereas Machi, don't really have any particular interest in playing her, although I am excited in seeing what her moves are like. But let's watch Uvo first. So my predictions before watching, he's just an enhancer, right? He just punches things, so he's probably going to have a really basic moveset, you know, just a lot of punches, probably nothing too flashy. But the one thing in particular that I'm looking out for is the Scream, right? That's probably going to be a super, but the big question is, so you know how in the manga or in the show, when he does the Scream, he does it on the porcupine guy, right? So the porcupine guy's quills are stuck in his fist, and because he's stuck in his fist, he's in close proximity, so that's why he yells at him, right? But obviously, if it's just going to be a move or a super that he's able to use on any character in the roster, they're not going to be stuck into his fist like a porcupine, right? So is he just going to do the Scream raw? Is he just going to scream at them and it's going to be some kind of AoE hitbox? Or is he going to grab them and then scream at them, right? They have to pull out a little bit of creative liberty here. I'm also wondering, we already have Ginthru, who we know is going to be the premier grappler of the game, probably, right? So I'm wondering if Uvo is also going to be a grappler. Not that he needs to be a grappler, because he's probably going to be just a big body super armor type. So he probably doesn't need a command grab, especially with Ginthru already filling that role. But you guys might not remember, and I did mention this in my roster predictions video, but not against any major named character or anything, but in the show, when they're sending all of those mafia people at him, just a bunch of grunts, you do see him holding on to somebody and swinging them around for a moment. He swings somebody around by grabbing onto their head and just spinning his arm around. And it's not too dissimilar from Hulk's command grab. Specifically, Hulk's command grab from, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Because in those games, Hulk has a command grab with a half circle input in which he grabs somebody and spins them around. And so I'm expecting maybe a command grab like that. So the Scream Super and a command grab that looks like Hulk's. And then aside from that, probably just a lot of punching, right? Let's see. We've seen this stage already. This was the stage in which he was revealed. Obviously being where he fights Kurapika. At the stage again. I'm surprised. So even before they revealed this stage, I was speculating to myself when thinking about possible stages for the game. I was thinking that this, because it's such, because it sees such a memorable fight take place in the show, I was thinking they would probably use this as a stage, but I was thinking that they would probably have the cars in the background, so that way the headlights from the cars would be shining towards the camera, and you would kind of see the silhouettes of the playable characters a bit more, just to make it a bit more visually interesting, but I guess they didn't want to make it too crazy like that. Anyway, I just wanted to say a small thing on the stage there, because I couldn't remember if I said that in any other video. Maybe a slight missed opportunity that they don't have the cars in the background, but, you know, it makes it less interesting, but it probably is less distracting in that way. Okay. The Scream is not a super. Okay. So it looks like he's doing some kind of Gatling combo into the Scream, which doesn't really strike me as a special move. It could be like, because he's doing a Gatling combo into it, it could be a heavy button, or it could also be a command normal. I'm thinking maybe a command normal. That's just my my instinct here. Was that comboing into snapback? I don't remember if this game has snapback, but they've already explained the game's mechanics, so we could probably just go back and check. But this looks as if it could be a snapback. Whoops, go back further. Right there. That looks as if it could be a snapback, but the camera is definitely zoomed in here more than what you would normally see in the game. So actually, more than likely, it's just going to be a move that knocks them away really far. Which isn't necessarily great for a character that's all about melee, but my suspicion is that if it's not a snapback, I think this is actually a move that knocks them back so far that you get a bounce off of the wall. Kind of similar to Nemesis. Nemesis has a lot of combos in which you're getting a wall bounce, so I'm thinking this is a wall bounce move, even though we don't see him doing anything. Well, we do see him dashing in, so presumably he's trying to combo off of a presumed wall bounce here. Let me hear if I can listen for a sound cue of Leorio hitting the wall. That could be Leorio hitting the ground, but just based on how high up in the air he is and how quickly we hear the sound, I'm thinking 99% chance that's a wall bounce. Okay, so that's actually pretty fitting if Uvo has some wall bounce combos. Okay, next clip. Air combo. Okay, so it looks like pretty typical Magic series stuff after the launcher, but he does seem to combo into a special move. That's some kind of spike, right? But right here, this looks like a special move. Kind of like a dive kick type move, even though he's not actually kicking. It's more of like a dive punch. Yeah, a dive punch. Maybe similar to Thor's special move that can be done in the air, in which Thor dives down with some super armor. This is also seeming somewhat similar to Gon's Jajonkin Rock in the air, because I think that's super armored as well. But it wouldn't be wrong for Uvo to have a similar moveset to Gon, right? Because they're both enhancers, but not only are they both enhancers, but Nobunaga even said to Gon that Gon reminds him of Uvo quite a bit. So it would be interesting if there were some parallels in their moveset like that. So that's the first special move. Presumably that's the first special move we're seeing. When I saw this keyframe right here, I was wondering, is it some kind of hit grab in which he grabbed Leorio and is pushing him onto the ground, right? Because from this shot, because there are so many effects covering up what's going on, I was thinking maybe he's holding onto Leorio's head right here and he's shoving him into the ground. But no, you can see right here that Leorio is bouncing up and Uvo's fist is on the ground. So it's some kind of dive punch move. Of course, fighting Kurapika here. Okay, going straight into a raw super here. They don't show much in these trailers, right? I know it's less than a minute, so I'm trying to really get value out of this, especially if we have to wait another 3 weeks for another trailer. If anybody's wondering why I keep pausing it. What kind of situation are they in here? Okay, so this isn't a raw super. It looks as if he already had Kurapika in some kind of hit stun. What's the super? Oh, it's an install. Huh. This game might end up having a lot of installs. What was that? I don't exactly recall what this install is a reference to, but he does have his aura emanating from himself, so maybe he just, you know, went full power against Kurapika in the fight, and maybe that's what they're basing it on. It's not really a gimmick per se. I guess if you made the Scream part of his normal moveset, you couldn't really come up with anything too crazy for the super, right? I need to see what... Oh, also, that move right there, that first move, looks like some kind of tackle, right? Very likely one of his assists right there, and also has a decent chance of being armored. Again, talking about Hulk, might be similar to Gamma Charge as well. Okay, we've seen that launcher already. This right here looks like it could be an anti-air grab. But what's weird is that when it connects, it doesn't grab onto Kurapika. Kurapika just falls, right? And it doesn't play an animation as if it's a hit grab. That one's strange. That definitely looks as if his hand is open right here, right? It's definitely not a punch. That looks so much like an anti-air grab right here. This frame, right? His hand is definitely open. So if I just saw that move whiff or something, I would think 100% that's an anti-air grab. Or at least like an anti-air hit grab, right? But he combos into it, and Kurapika just gets hit and gets spiked down. So maybe if you hit somebody with it raw, it's a grab, but if you combo into it, it's a hit that spikes them. That would be interesting. I can't think of any other move like that in any other game made by Aiding. So if any of you guys watching can think of a move that behaves that way, a move that is normally a command throw or a hit grab, but when comboed into it is just a hit, let me know in the comments. Because this is definitely the part that's confusing me the most so far. That looks like it could be an overhead, but at the very least it is... Wait, is this an OTG or is Kurapika getting bounced here? That's the OTG, okay. So when he did the big overhead punch, Kurapika was in the air from getting bounced by the command grab question mark. Oh yeah, Big Bang Punch, duh, that has to be, or Big Bang Impact, that has to be the super if it's not the Scream. I guess I wasn't thinking of that because it's literally just a punch with his aura put into his fist, but he has to say it at least. This looks like a really easy super to DHC into, so Uvo might have some pretty good team flexibility. And it looks as if he's able to combo off of it even further because he gets another wall bounce. See that? So I'm thinking Uvo is going to play a lot like Nemesis in terms of wall bounces. Maybe like a combination between Nemesis and Hulk, right? Ooh, okay. Some kind of anti-air knee. That might be one of his assists as well. Huh. So that could have the functionality of Hulk's diagonal Gamma Charge. Yeah, this is definitely reminding me of Gamma Charge. And this isn't the dive punch we saw from earlier, because in this case, he's doing a tackle downwards. So I'm thinking these moves in which he's able to charge forward or charge up and then down, I'm thinking this is pretty much a Gamma Charge move now. Even more confident about it. Yep. Another super? I don't know if this one is... Oh, okay. So I think this is also Big Bang Punch, but specifically when he punched at the ground to hit Worm, right? He's not saying it here. He says it for the other Big Bang Punch, but obviously you want different voice lines depending on the super, right? So right here, they're grabbing a different one of his lines, but they're having him do the Big Bang Punch on the ground. So I think that's good. And it plays a cinematic here because it hit, right? It looks as if he's, it looks as if it's hitting him directly. Yeah, right there. Or trying to catch the frame. Right there. So it connects and then it plays the cinematic of Kurapika getting caught in it. But I was going to speculate if it didn't show that, maybe if it whiffs, he still hits the ground and it behaves kind of like Hulk's Gamma Wave. Hulk's Gamma Wave super. Not the Gamma Charge, the Gamma Wave in which he destroys the ground and creates a wave of rocks on the ground that goes full screen. I was thinking maybe this could be that if you whiff it, but I don't know. Maybe you're just getting punished if you whiff it, because if you look here, it doesn't look as if he's aiming towards the ground to create a gamma wave. It looks as if he's just punching straight. So this one might be a super you just have to combo into. Maybe his other Big Bang Punch is kind of the one that they want people to use from a distance, right? Okay. So, not disappointed about that one, even though the scream ends up being, or the yell ends up being, ended up being a regular move instead of a super. I'm not disappointed by that. I think having 2 Big Bang Punches for the supers, definitely looks as if it could be fun. Again, not too surprising that he's just a Hulk clone, essentially Hulk/Nemesis, but that's exactly what I was wanting and expecting from him, and I still think there's a very high likelihood he is going to be on my team. So, let's watch Machi now. I was trying to think if I should split this up into 2 videos, but because they posted both on the same day, and because anybody interested in one would probably be interested in the other, I'm just going to do these both at the same time here. So my speculation about Machi before we watch, I'm thinking it's going to be a lot like Byakuya from Under Night in terms of having invisible traps. Testament from Guilty Gear Accent Core is also a character that had invisible traps. So that kind of archetype. Reaching even further, maybe she has some kind of super that you can use to heal your teammates if you DHC into it, kind of like with Roll and Tatsunoko. That's probably way less likely, though, because if they were going to do something like that, they would have done it with Cookie for Biscuit, I think. So let's see. Probably just traps. I don't know what the super could be, though. Maybe just a cinematic thing when the Phantom Troop was going crazy, when they were just killing a bunch of people, and she hung somebody up with the string. Okay, Magic Series stuff. Okay, so I highly doubt Machi is going to be a character with wall bounce stuff, right? I would much more expect that from Uvo. So when I see this, and it launches Killua, I'm thinking that's actually a combo into Snapback, especially because I don't hear the sound of Killua hitting the wall in this case. It's weird that they have the snapback looks, if this is a snapback, it's weird that they have it look so similar to Uvo's move that isn't a snapback, but a wall bounce. Because if you watch both trailers back to back, I could see somebody maybe assuming that these are both the same type of move when they probably aren't. Okay, so here's something that's interesting. So this obviously hits Killua and pulls him in, but I immediately get the impression that Killua would have gotten pulled in even if he blocked it, which would maybe remind some people of Manon from Street Fighter 6. There are other characters with a vacuum effect like that as well. Potemkin from Guilty Gear Accent Core, his crouching slash. Yeah, crouching slash, the move where he does a big back knuckle. That move in that game has a vacuum effect that pulls people in even if they block it. And I'm always a big fan of that type of vacuum effect on buttons. So that's cool. Oh, okay. Comboed into the string. I guess it's implying the string was already put on them. Not too dissimilar from the bungee gum, actually, that we saw on Hisoka. But what's interesting here... Okay, this is really interesting. Look at this. So she launches him, and then you can see he does a roll here as if he flips out of the combo and goes back into a blockable state. And then she pulls him. And you can see as he's getting pulled, he's not crumpled or anything. He's not being comboed. He's not in hit stun right now. She pulls him across and then hits him as if she crossed him up by putting him to the other side. That's interesting. I don't know if I can think of any other character archetype that can cross people up in that way. Let me know in the comments if I'm overlooking something. But that would be really interesting if her combos end in resets. that involve pulling people over you to cross them up, or maybe pulling them over you but hitting them before they're actually on the other side to like fake cross them up. That's interesting. Why does Hisoka have a heart for his subtitles? It's like how he does the text messages. Okay. That time, she did the same move that I thought was a snapback, but this time you can actually hear him hit the wall. So maybe it's not a snapback. Maybe for some reason, Machi also has a wall bounce move for some reason, even though that's way more reasonable to be on Uvo. I don't remember any specific instance in the show in which she was able to kick somebody really far, but sure. See, you could hear Hisoka hit the wall there. Plus, she's comboing him. Oh, is this Maximum Spider? Oh, no, okay. The startup looked like Maximum Spider right there. I'm for anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Spider-Man Super from Marvel vs. Capcom. It has a very similar startup in terms of the animation here. But she seems to dive straight down and can combo off of it. Ooh. So it looked like right here, she hit him and went to the other side and left him with the thread. I'm wondering if that would have happened even if he blocked it, right? I bet she would have at least gone to the other side. That's kind of like Hayato's move from Marvel vs. Capcom 2, in which he can go through you. Okay, some cool thread stuff there. That looks fun. So, did that, how did that connect? That's the animation, and that's the connect. Okay, so it just starts like a punch. It's not some kind of big AoE like a Venom super. Okay. I will say, I'm a bit more sold on Machi now than before, because when they first revealed Machi, I was a little disappointed because I was thinking, okay, the only reason you would add Machi is for invisible traps, right? And if you wanted to have a character with invisible traps, you could just give those to Kurapika, because Kurapika uses his chains as an invisible trap in the fight with Uvo, right? So it seems completely unnecessary and redundant to have Kurapika and Machi. But seeing the ways in which she's using her thread here, I think it's a bit more justified to have her on the roster. So I am happy to say that I'm a bit more sold on her. Even though the roster is already so small, and I know that once they reveal all the characters, I'm going to wish that some other character was in over Machi, right? Because inevitably, with how small the roster is, some favorites are going to be missing. And regardless of which of those favorites will be missing, I'm probably going to wish that any of them would be in over Machi. But I know Machi has her fans, so I hope they are happy about what her moveset looks like here. I will say this, here's a small critique about the game in general. When the game was first revealed with the reveal trailer, I really liked the music in the reveal trailer, which I think might just be the theme song for the Heaven's Arena stage. It might just be the stage theme for Heaven's Arena. I think that's the one they used for the reveal trailer, because the reveal trailer, they were walking into Heaven's Arena. I thought that track was really cool, and I was getting the impression that all of the music in the game would sound like that, and I thought we were in good hands in terms of the musical direction just based on that song. But since then, after hearing the other songs from the rest of the stages, I don't think any of them come close to Heaven's Arena. I think Heaven's Arena is the only song that actually is exciting, because if this is Machi's theme here, we've already heard what I think is Heaven's Arena's theme, right? So the track we're hearing here, which is new, I'm assuming it's Machi's theme, and I understand that they're trying to go for more of an elusive type of theme song, right? Not so bombastic, but more elusive and creepy. But even so, I just don't think it sounds exciting for a fighting game match. You could definitely go that kind of direction and still have it be exciting. Let me compare it to the music in Uvo's trailer, because this one actually made me want to talk about it, but I don't even remember what this one was. This one's not bad. This one's okay. I think that's why I didn't feel bothered enough by it to complain. This is probably the stage theme. I don't know if there are going to be character themes and stage themes. I'm assuming there are both, right? Because, like I said, we heard Machi's theme here, but we already heard a different theme on this stage. So I'm thinking we do have character themes and stage themes. I need to go back to the footage from Evo and listen to the music that's... Actually, I was going to say listen to the music that's played on this stage, but I don't know if this stage was in any of the playable builds. But I was going to say we should go back and check, and I was going to listen to hear if this theme was playing on the stage so I could know if it's a stage theme or Uvo's theme. But just listening to it, I think it sounds much more like the stage theme for this stage rather than Uvo's theme. I think if this were Uvo's theme, it should sound a bit more heavy, right? Yeah, I don't think this stage theme is bad. It's not amazing, it's not great, but I think this one's aight. But Machi's theme, a little too sleepy, right? And that just reminded me to complain about the music in general. I definitely foresee people just playing their own music when they start streaming this game, right? Just putting on their own playlist and listening to that whenever they play this game. Which isn't that big of a deal because most people end up doing that with fighting games anyway. Once you start putting hundreds of hours into a fighting game, you kind of start getting tired of listening to the same music over and over. Or, you know, some people do with most games. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I hope we don't have to wait another 3 weeks for another character trailer. I'm thinking maybe they just waited 3 weeks this time because they knew that we were going to get 2 at once. So maybe that's why they decided to wait 3 weeks. Obviously, the theme here is that we got 2 Phantom Troop members at the same time. I'm still thinking, though, that these can't be all of the Phantom Troop members, right? Because surely Chrollo has to be in the game, right? And I think, in addition to Chrollo, Nobunaga is probably going to be in the game because literally every fighting game, it seems as if every fighting game wants to have its resident Iaido character, right? And Nobunaga would automatically be the resident Iaido character of this game. Maybe it's because it would be really easy to develop movesets for Iaido characters because when they go into the Iaido stance, it could literally be translated as a stance in a fighting game, right? So he could have different slashes from his Iaido stance, and he could also have his infield where you get automatically attacked if you enter the infield or something like that. So I'm thinking Chrollo and Nobunaga, if we're getting any more Phantom Troops, it'll be any more Phantom Troop members, it'll be those 2. And if we are getting those 2, maybe they'll reveal them together as well if they kind of want to, if they wanted to show 2 Phantom Troop members at the same time in this case, maybe they'll do it again. But showing off Chrollo, I think Chrollo would definitely... Chrollo doesn't need to be paired with someone else to reveal him, right? So maybe they would do like Chrollo and Meruem at the same time just to show 2 villains. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm starting to get really speculative here, and then it'll just turn into a different video. So definitely looking forward to the game. Very high likelihood I'm going to play Uvo. I hope we get a Ginthru trailer soon, because just like with Machi and Uvo being technically revealed, but only being revealed just to get beaten up, Ginthru was revealed in probably the most unceremonious way possible in just allowing Justin Wong to play him, because the build that Justin Wong got to play was a different build than what everyone else got to play. And it was a build with Ginthru, and he was just casually in the character select, and Justin Wong picked him, but he never really got to do anything with Ginthru. So that's probably the worst character reveal in all history. So I'm really hoping we get a showcase of Ginthru's abilities sometime soon, just so that way he can kind of redeem his awful reveal, right? Because I'm dying to see how much of a command grabber, how much of a grappler he really is. And then we can go back to starting to get actual reveals, because Biscuit was an actual reveal, right? These 2 weren't. If we get a Ginthru trailer, it's not an actual reveal, but then after we get Ginthru out of the way. That means Machi, Uvo, and Ginthru, all of the characters that were revealed but not really, are gone, or, you know, out of the way. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see all of you later. So bye for now.